I'm going to do a little bit of a review about this product, but before I do that, I just want to do a disclosure. There is no payment or anything that I received from Clutch, who is the manufacturer or is the maker of this product, this brand here, but I'm just doing it for the sake of anyone who might be wanting to get into something, like home repairs on welding and all that, and they may be looking for some information about it and cannot find it, so I'm just doing my little review about it. Anyways, this is KLUTCH MIG140i that I bought a couple months back. I think it's almost going to be about a year and a half now that I will have. This welder can do aluminum, flux, and MIG, and it's a good welder. When I bought it from Northern Tools, I bought the tank or the cylinder for gas weld on its own, so it was kind of like I had to look up a good price, and I don't really use the tank a lot. When I first bought it, I tried using it, but I decided not to use it quite a bit because I didn't have enough room for welding and all that. So on the safety side of things, I do all my welding outside and not inside because I don't have much room. Anyways, going back to the product itself, it's a pretty good welder, flux core MIG aluminum welder that I think it's a very handy tool that anyone who is willing to get into DIY stuff in welding and all that stuff, they can get into it and buy it for themselves. It's not too pricey. When I bought it, it was about $200, close to $300 that I spent, because I bought that, and then I bought the hood, and then some other stuff that went with it, like this stuff right here that I bought. So it kind of had some price on it, but it's not too expensive like the much more expensive Clutch brand. But this is the hose with the MIG cap for it, and then the ground. I have on my side of the setting, that's my setting right there. On the voltage, I usually keep it, when I'm doing flux core welding, I keep it at 1, and then the speed is between 3, or depending on how fast I want it, I go between 3 and 4, but here lately I've been keeping it at 3, and it has done pretty well. And then when you look inside the case or the welder itself, you will see these standard settings that you can set it to depending on the type of wire gauge that you're using. So that's what I kind of follow, but then I go by the feel of the welding and how good the weld is getting done. So I kind of go with that. I don't really go with that setting, but that's some sort of like a guideline I use. And then depending on the type of gauge wire that I'm using to do flux core, I set it accordingly. And then, like I mentioned, that's my setting right there. And when I bought this, I bought also the tank for gasless welding. I mean, not gasless, but gas welding. Correction on that. And I used it quite a bit, but I decided not to use it because I don't have much room. Usually when you are doing MIG welding, you need, a closer, space where you can have the weld melting properly, so there is no wind blowing it away. I don't really have much of a room or space or anything like that, so I pretty much decided to do a lot of flux core welding. So I've gotten into flux core welding, and it has done me good. I cannot say real good, but when I first tried it out, it was a struggle because I was new to it and I just didn't really know what I was doing. But from the videos that I was watching on YouTube, they kind of helped me to teach myself on the side of like welding, doing a good weld, and how fast I'm supposed to be, moving the puddle and all that. So, but anyways, this is about this product right here for now. In the later videos, I will go into some of my welds and show you a little bit about it. But this is pretty much what the welding is. The welder looks like. So mine is not really expensive, but it is very handy, I would say. And I've enjoyed it so far. It has done me good, like I said earlier. And that's my setting right there. If you are thinking of getting into this type of thing and you've been looking for some videos about this product, that's my setting right there. But you can always go from the type of wire, the size of the gauge wire that you're using for flux welding, and then you can set it accordingly. So I use right now, that wire that I use for flux core welding is 0.030. So that's the wire. I was trying 0.035, but the type of metal that I'm using is not so thick, so I decided to go down on the size. And when I did that change, I was able to do a good weld, and my settings were just right. I won't say perfect, but they're just right, because the type of metal that I'm using to weld against, it just works pretty good. So I'm enjoying it so far. And for now, I would say this is my actual product that I have just completed, but I won't get into the welding part of it yet, because I'm thinking of doing another video about it. But this is my stand for my paint machine, and sorry, I don't really have any much room, but this is what it looks like. So if you see, I still have the wheel to put on right there. I just completed painting it, and I'm satisfied with the type of work that I've accomplished through that welder, KLUTCH welder, and I'm grateful for what I've done so far. So that's a little bit about this product. Sorry, I don't have any more technical background into it, because I decided to do this in a moment's notice. Not in a moment's notice, but like just in the moment that I felt like doing it. So this is the video about this KLUTCH welder. And as you can see, it's a inverter powered KLUTCH MIG welder that can do aluminum and flux core. So it's a pretty good welder. If you have any questions, you can feel free to just drop some comments on it. And have any more other suggestions, feel free to leave them on my page as well. But this is my first video about this product, and I will go deep into it as time goes by to talk more about the product itself. And then I will talk a little more on the side of the welds that I'm making and show pictures of what I'm doing. And at the same time, I will also take videos about the welding when I'm in the process of welding and all that. So just look forward to that. And like I said, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them on the page. Thank you very much, and you guys have a good day.